I see moms who don't scream how amazing they are compared to the moms on Instagram. They're screaming how amazing they are for taking care of their kids and working out. And I see other women doing even more than that. And I'm just like, you're amazing and you inspire me way more because you don't have to prove it to me. You don't have to scream it to me.
Yeah.
You're not fake putting this out there so people think it.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Taking my kids to school.
Oh my gosh.
Changing their
gosh.
diapers.
6-pack with 3 kids.
Yeah,
What's your
yeah.
excuse? Like, I hate social media, and I always say I wish it just died because I'm so consumed by the negativity of it. And then I entered the seminar and I was like, man, if I can use my platform of 270,000 people to get at least 3 women to come, I know those 3 women will inspire 3 more women, and I know that chain will continue to go. And then I started looking, okay, Jackie, how can you use this? Because we all get so consumed by numbers and likes and posting and captions, and it's overwhelming that I just like freeze, I shut down. But I'm like, okay, let's start focusing on what can you do with this. It won't be sexy, it won't be popular, I'll lose a lot of followers, but that doesn't really matter to me at this point. Like if I wanted to go away, then I don't mind losing some to like really put out there what I think should be.
What's up, guys and girls? Welcome to another episode of the Generation Strong Talk Show. My name is Ray, and I'm here with my trusted partner in crime, Jesse, aka J Bird. Had to do that. Today, we are interviewing a 6-time CrossFit Open athlete, Jackie Perez, visiting Dubai on her StrongFit weekend and the Shero Summit weekend as well. We are graced by her presence. She's been traveling the world from Africa to Kuwait to what, Japan?
To Guantanamo Bay, to Japan, to
Holland,
Alaska, to Greenland,
yeah, I was like,
to Holland.
Jesus, this woman is traveling the world, and we're so lucky to have her here. How has your visit been? This is not the first time you've been to the UAE.
So I've been to Abu Dhabi. It was pretty extravagant, and then I came to Dubai, and it was like way extra. So it's like a cleaner, cooler Vegas, I would say, without all the trashy parts of Vegas.
Correct.
I love it. I'm not into like city or going out, anything like that. But here, like, I just, for some reason, I love it. Yeah. I like
and
it.
last night you were at the Burj?
And we're at the Burj.
Like top of the Burj?
Top of the Burj. Okay, so is that the tallest or the second tallest?
That's the tallest, the Burj Khalifa.
The Burj Khalifa, okay.
Yeah.
Somebody was saying that it's the second day. I was like, there's one in Shanghai or something.
Oh, they're building it, I think.
They're building it.
Yeah, I think
so
they're
the
building
tallest part of the world.
However, Dubai is working on a new project where I think in another 2-3 years they'll have an even taller building.
Because we can't be
Because no.
If you think you're
That is very Dubai of that.
You know, we have to. Awesome. What's the most interesting thing you found about Dubai so far?
Honestly, like, it's the culture shock coming from the U.S.
Yeah.
Obviously, I mean, I've been to Kuwait, I've been to like Abu Dhabi, but like never really stayed there long enough to experience the culture. Just as a female, it's just different.
Different.
Yeah, it makes me really appreciate, a lot of things at home.
Nice.
But yeah.
And you've been here now 2 weeks, 3 weeks?
This is, I want to say 2 weeks. I leave on Tuesday, so almost 2 weeks.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, welcome.
Yeah.
And goodbye, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. No, thanks. I'm so happy because I was only going to come for the seminar. And then she's like, oh, it's the weekend before. And I was like, oh man, okay, so that means I have to leave on my birthday. I have to fly out to be here by the seminar, knowing like you lose a day. And then I was like, oh, I could really make it happen. And I was like, do I want to be there that long? I always feel like I overstay my welcome. So yeah, it's been amazing. I'm very happy to be here. And I'm so happy that I came for the summit because I wasn't going to just because I didn't want to drag it out. And then I was like, everything, it just worked out so well. And I'm just it exceeded my expectations. I didn't know. I knew I'm not about like women empowerment. Like that's never been like a thing for me, right? I'm always like, oh, I don't feel like I'm ever discriminated against. I never tried to do something men thought they could do better. It was never a thing for me. And then I came to that seminar and I was like, wow, like I am about women empowerment, and like, but like in a different, not like in a women can do anything men can do way, and like a woman can do anything that they want to do kind of way. Yeah. I don't care if a man can do it also. Like it's more about the female figuring out what they can do on their own without even having to compare it to what a man can and can't do.
Exactly. I was that was one of the messages we were trying to get out there.
Yeah.
I think I read a post on your wall where it's like someone said something and it was more about women actually doing what they want to do
Mhm.
rather than comparing themselves to men and like, oh, if men can do it, we can do it. We're in a oppressed
No, I don't
society.
like
No,
that,
it's
yeah.
more about like the whole, you can do whatever you want to
Yeah.
do. You can take ownership for your life. You can lead. You can
Yeah.
Yeah,
bust those shackles.
and I don't think it's ever been about like women's empowerment versus men's empowerment. Like, we all need to be empowered to be the best versions of ourselves and to live the life that we want.
Men and women equal. Yeah.
But for like, and that was the experience I'm sure you had at the summit. You can speak more to this, but when you're in a space with women who are open and vulnerable, it's a different, completely different atmosphere than when there are men there.
Absolutely, yeah, because you can't really open up like that. You can't be like that. But I think it was just cool that we don't have to prove anything against men. Like every female that spoke, she wasn't trying to do anything but what she loved. And it ended up being empowering. I think that's when people go out to do something to be different, like it's not as genuine as someone who just like, they're like, I don't even know how I ended up here. You know, like Liz, I think Liz's story was one of the most powerful to someone like me who constantly feels like broken or like there's no way to get back up, you know, and she's just like, I have been to the bottom and here I am, you know. I think that was one of the most powerful for me because I think a lot of us lose hope because you're like, I'll never be that. She didn't try to be that, she just became that. So I thought that was really cool. Yeah.
What else would you have was like a big takeaway from that weekend?
Man, every person that spoke just had like a different kind of, like Anna was amazing to me just because I need an Anna in my life. Mm-hmm. And I think like I've ignored needing somebody, like I ask myself all these questions that have been asked, but I hide from my own answers. But like that was just very like, and it was a very vulnerable place where I could ask myself the questions she put up there in a very honest way instead of, usually I'm so distracted or I got somewhere to be, like, and I try to do all this self stuff and I'm like, I'm too big of a hurry to do it. This was this is all about you. Like, this is your time to figure out what you want. And so it was a good time for me to dig deep and be like, do I love myself? Yeah. And you know, like usually I'm like, yeah, I do, and I go on. And this one was like, no, like, do you really at the end of the day, you know, if all those things you had weren't there, do you? And so she was super powerful in that way, and I'm going to work with her. Like, I've been a mess, like, the last 3 years. I think traveling, like, you're not grounded at all, so it's easy, and I think I use traveling as, like, an excuse to not have my life together. So people are like, hey, why aren't you marrying up kids? Oh, I'm traveling. Hey, why aren't you in a gym? Oh, I'm traveling, you know, and I know that it's gotten to a point where I'm like, okay, what are you going to do? And I need someone like her to ask me these questions so I could figure them out. We all think we're working on ourselves, but if someone's not there to keep you accountable, how much are you really being honest with yourself or telling yourself what you want to hear? Yeah. So she was powerful, and then Sonia, just the whole adrenal fatigue and you know, taking out of your bank and like not putting back in was huge because I really analyzed my life and I'm like, it's take out, take out, take out, take out, take out. Is there ever any like refueling or putting anything back in? Yeah. But not really. It's just always go. I
think a little bit of background for anyone watching that obviously wasn't at the summit. Mm-hmm. Dr. Sonia Peterson talked about adrenals and hormones, but the way she described it was like our body is like a bank account, and then every time we train and add stress and all of the other things, it's taking out of the bank account. And then like that really resonated for me, and I know for most women that were there, it's like, oh, I'm constantly taking out, but like, what do I do for myself? What do I do to refuel? Yeah. And most of us don't do anywhere near enough.
No.
No. Like, oh.
Yeah. Yeah. So she was amazing in that way, and then flag boxing was just like, I bow down to you for doing something that like not a lot of people would take that risk and do and provide that opportunity. I don't think people understand, like, especially coming out here, coming to Platform Fitness, seeing like what Kiki was huge too, because I'm like, man, what you're doing here is you're providing these women with a safe environment to learn to just be strong in their own ways and like do things they never thought that, like, you're empowering them within these walls. Of course, they're a little more confined to, but you're giving them an opportunity to find out things about themselves that they would never, without exercise, be able to figure out. And I know she's taking a big risk for doing that, for giving women their own voice in that way and being able to discover that. So those two were just very, very powerful for me. And then who else was there? Liz. Like I said, Liz was amazing because she's like, I was a mess. She's like, I don't even want to talk about how big of a mess I was, you know, and now she's like this world record power lifter. And to me, like, that was truly like, I know everyone said you could do whatever you want, but when you meet somebody who truly did whatever something they never thought they could do, and then they even look at themselves like, how did I get here? You know, it's amazing because she didn't even have the time to look back and be like, oh, I want to get here. It's just, she did what she had to do, and she was confident in her abilities, and that's what got her there. Yeah. And then even, I met a girl, and it's funny because the whole time I was looking at her body, and I was like, her body is amazing. Like, I want your body. So finally I went up to her and I was like, I want your body. Like, you are amazing. And she looks at me, she's like, no, you don't. And I'm like, what do you mean? She's like, I would give anything to not have this body, because she was going through issues of trying to get pregnant, because she ran herself into the ground with the cutting calories, not putting anything back in her bank account, like truly ruining herself. And it's funny, and she's like, I want your body. And I was like, I would do anything to trade you. And that just like really hit me, where like you see what somebody else has, but you have no idea what they're going. Like, in my mind, that's the ideal body, and I'm like, would I give up everything she did for that body? No, she wouldn't even give up everything she did for that body. And to me, it was just like, and people always like, I love your body. I'm like, I hate it. Like, I wish I was skinnier. I wish I was this. And it's like, wherever you are now, you've got to find a way to be happy without looking at what someone else has, because someone's going to trade everything they have for what you have. And you might not even realize it. Like, everyone's like, I want your life. And I'm like, you don't. You don't. You just see the glitz and the glamour. You think all I do is travel. And like, I wake up most days like, what am I, like, semi-depressed? Like, what am I doing with my life? Like, there's no direct, everyone thinks they want freedom and that they want like no responsibilities and all this. Well, I did that, and now I'm like, almost like my meaning has been gone, because there's no real stress in my life. Now I'm just like, well, what am I doing with my life? Yeah. Like, I can do anything I want. Yeah, that's amazing. I have all the freedom. I can travel. I make money, but I'm not happy. You know, so it's just so funny. Look in the mirror and realize what you have. Somebody else would give it everything they have for it.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
And that, I think that appreciating that, like finding that place where you can have gratitude for what you have.
Yeah.
And then it doesn't mean that we don't need to strive for more, but I think we always have that sense of trying to compare, like, oh, if only I had what that person had.
If I was skinnier, if I was stronger, if I was this, if I was that, then I'd be happy. Never. Yeah. Yeah, so I think that, and the power wasn't in the speakers, the power was in bringing these women together who all shared their stories. Even when we were just chatting over lunch, that was, and I shed a tear. I don't cry. I'm very like, like, man, I kind of like shed a tear. Someone was talking and it like really hit home, but it was a place to be vulnerable, and that you could shed a tear and you could just be that person who shared the story and consumed it and was like, wow, like, you were amazing. So there was a power within bringing those women together, power within the speakers, and just having that girl time, having that time to be yourself and embrace like what a female is. So it was really good. I think you were crying. I think that's what made me cry.
I definitely cried a lot.
Yeah, but that was cool. You know, because like me, I'm always trying to be all tough, and that was just like a put your guard down place. Like, you don't have to be tough. Like, it's okay to like take this in and be like, wow, this is amazing.
And I think that was something that was really important to me. I understand that as a leader and as a coach, sometimes you have to lead from the front. And I knew that I had to be vulnerable to create a space where everyone else could be. And I think that's why, like, I see like the platform that you have and the potential with that, because you have so much space to be able to share within like whatever's important to you.
And like, it's funny because the seminar made me realize, like, I hate social media, and I always say I wish it just died, because I'm so consumed by the negativity of it. And then I entered the seminar and I was like, man, if I can use my platform of 270,000 people to get at least 3 women to come, I know those 3 women will inspire 3 more women, and I know that chain will continue to go. And then I started looking, okay, Jay, how can you use this? Because we all get so consumed by numbers and likes and posting and captions, and it's like, it's overwhelming that I just like freeze, I shut down. But I'm like, okay, let's start focusing on what can you do with this. It won't be sexy, it won't be popular, I'll lose a lot of followers, but that doesn't really matter to me at this point. Like, if I wanted to go away, then I don't mind losing some to like really put out there what I think should be. So.
I think it was, who's that colonel who keeps giving those famous speeches? Nick Raven? The guy who's like, make your bed and blah, blah, blah.
Mhm.
He was
Oh, yeah.
talking about it the other day where it's like if you can touch 10 people, the lives of 10 people, and if they can touch the lives of 10 people, and every month 10 people can do that, then within like 10 years, you're touching 800 million people,
Yeah.
which is huge.
Yeah.
There's no Instagram following that big.
Yeah.
So that's a really noble thought that
Yeah.
that just popped up.
So it'll be interesting. Like I said, I want to shut it down. I'm over it. Like I'm tired of it. Like when you're constantly having to like, and I try to be very honest in these things. Like I don't have my life together and I'm a mess. And so when I post things, I don't post like motivational stuff because someone like just would be like, "You're a mess. Like what are you talking about? Trying to inspire other people." You're
not saying
but
that
I'm
to you.
no, but I'm just saying like I think you have to be real. Like we all know those people who post all this motivational stuff about having your life together, and you're like, "You are a mess. Like what are you talking about?" Right? That to me bothered, like inspire people through like who you truly are, not like who you say that you are.
Correct.
Which these days social media is like us screaming how amazing we are,
Yeah.
and it's like no, like you don't have to do that.
Just be real.
Just be real.
I think that's why you have that follower too.
And I
Just
think
be
that's
real.
yeah, and because I don't want someone to see me one day like at the top of the birds dreaming, be like, she tries to pretend like she's all good. I'm like, no, I'm a mess. Like like I enjoy life. I work hard, but I enjoy life. Like I have a balance. And that might not be your thing, but that's my thing, like, yeah. So
What's the coffee you're drinking?
yeah. So it's called Nika. No, so I just try to be very honest, and to me, that's not it. I discredit everything I do because it's never good enough. Because I think in this world, if you're not doing something huge, you're not doing anything. And so I keep noticing like everything I do, it's never good enough. And I'm like, well, no wonder you're so unhappy with your life because nothing you've done is good enough for you. Like, and so I'm realizing all these things out here where I get to like look down on my life because I'm so disconnected from like everything that I'm like, man, like okay, that's what you need to kind of work on.
Yeah.
So
'Cause I think, like you said, for me, one of the things that I really love about you is that you're like so authentic, and you're not putting on a show on social. And the other thing that like really, when I first met you, and obviously we've known each other for a little while now, is that like you attract people to you. You have this incredible quality that people want to be around you.
You're always game, yeah. You're always right.
But with that, that's once you are able to channel that, like because people care so much to be near you, and then you have that like that power of influence with that. Which to me I see like this unbridled potential, and I think you're only just starting to see that that's that's in you, and so
I just want to be careful and do it in the right way because it does scare. Like influence is scary because I do have a lot of people who are like, oh, I bought this because you promoted it, or hey, I got this, and then I was like, okay, then I need to be very conscious about what I promote and what I put out there because people are buying it, and so like I'll get deals all the time. Hey, we'll pay you this much to post this, and I'm like, I don't believe in shortcuts, and I don't care how much money it is. Like that doesn't, and I could be making a shit ton of money if we were talking about this with Julian at lunch, talking about just people. I was like, I could be putting out training programs and macros, but I could be fucking up a lot of people in the meantime because I'm just gonna make them do sexy stuff. I'm gonna make them take a lot out of their bank account, not put anything back in, and I made all this money, but what was that for? You just screwed up. I can make you start counting your calories and cut them, and I just gave you some eating disorder because you're so concerned with the numbers that I told you. You know your body, I don't know your body. So me giving you a general number, how the hell do I know what's gonna work for you? And so it's more like of a morals thing where it's like I think eventually when I figure out how I wanna put out a training program and an eating program, I will. But right now, everyone's doing it because it's sexy. And now if I put something on that, you're just confusing people even more. I'm confused about diets. Right, and this is my job, like keto, paleo, this, that, everything. And I almost don't even know anymore what to do. I wake up in the morning, like, which diet I want to do today? Do I want to do flexible dieting today? Do I want to fast? Like, what do I want to do?
Macros?
Yeah, like, how am I feeling today? And then I'm like,
drinking tonight, so it's carb cycling. So we're going carb backloading today.
So it's just like if there's confusion, but it's a deeper issue than me just finding a plan that works for me. It's just like me getting to know me and what works for me. And so like we all try to avoid the hard part of getting to know me and what works for me because it's so easy to ignore a lot of our problems and just keep going. And that's how I got here, like I just finally ran out of places to go. And so Jewel, Strong Fit, like really spoke to me in a way that I was like, I like what you guys are doing, and so I'm still following them because they are smart people who gave me more of an answer than I was getting from other people before. But I'm constantly like, anything they say I write down, and then I go down these crazy YouTube rabbit holes to find more information to make my own opinion about what they're saying. Not like, it's okay to doubt what someone is saying even if they're above you, because you, like, if you look at someone like, oh, you're amazing, and you just, now you're blindly following a leader, you know, like, I want to dig deep and I want to know, is what they're saying true? They check out 99% of the time, you know, it checks out. And I ask really smart people, and they're like, no, that is true, you know. And so I continue to follow them, but they've sparked curiosity in me that was never there. I would never like be looking at quantum physics videos on YouTube if it wasn't something that Julian said, you know what I'm saying? I don't understand any of it, but the fact that I'm like out there trying to like learn about it, I'm like, okay, that was obviously a good thing for me. Sparked that interest.
Oh, I completely agree. I had a similar experience with the whole strong fit rabbit hole.
But I think that's the amazing thing about you is that like what you did with it is like you made it, you took the principles and you adapted them to and made like your own system with them. I mean, I don't think you should follow anyone's principles like 1 to 10. I think you put them into what you're doing and you change things and you make it work better, but you don't fully ditch what you were doing to now follow this.
Well, you have to understand, like, and that's what the very best people in the world do. There's always going to be things you can pull from, but it's, if you understand the principle, then you can adapt it to make sure that it's working for the situation.
And then try and test it.
Yeah.
And then say, okay.
So like all the stuff that I use fixing myself first.
Yeah.
From my own frustration of like everyone saying, well, this is your problem, and then all the traditional ways of like rehab that weren't working.
Yeah.
And then that's where like Strong Fit started me on the journey of finding how to fix it myself. Yeah. And then from that, now I can help other people.
Yeah.
I think that's very true about yourself. Is like many people don't know how much she reads, how much she takes care of herself, how she's invested in a life coach, no matter how expensive it is. Yeah. And she practices what she preaches. Yeah. So a lot of the Shero Summit stuff and a lot of the exposure people got was to actually tried and tested methods. Yeah. And kudos to you.
But like what you were saying about me, like you attract your own certain type of people who want to be around you and learn from you. You know, like, and I think that's the power of having 30 women in one room who attract their kind of people, and then like, because this was just like you planted a seed. You know what I'm saying? And it's just gonna continue to grow and grow and grow. And like that's why I feel like it's you took a chance on something that wasn't about you, right? Like this isn't about you. No. This is about putting everybody out there because you know the value of the people you put out and what they did for you, and you're like, I want to put that out there, and like thank you for that because that's huge. Like I'm like anti-women empowerment. Like feminists piss me off because I'm like, why are you trying so hard to prove something? You know, like we're women, we're fucking amazing, and we know we don't have to try so hard to prove it to be amazing. Like we don't have to scream from the top of our lungs, we're the shit. Like we are the shit, and everybody that has a female in their life knows the power that this female has and the strength that they have. You don't have to scream it. I see moms who don't scream how amazing they are compared to the moms on Instagram. They're screaming how amazing they are for taking care of their kids and working out. And I see other women doing even more than that. And I'm just like, you're amazing and you inspire me way more because you don't have to prove it to me. You don't have to scream it to me. You're not fake putting this out there so people think it.
Yeah.
So
Take my kids to school.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. 6-pack with 3 kids. What's your excuse? Like.
You know, you have women coming up to you and saying, you have a great body, like your body. And I know you weren't born this way. I mean, you had to work really hard for this. Yeah. Could you shed some light on that aspect of how you got there?
Yeah, man, I've had like body issues since as long as I can remember, and it's funny, and I've said this on another podcast where like, I used to only hate my body once a month when you get that Victoria's Secret catalog because you realize you didn't look like them and you're just like, what's wrong with me? And then now we're just overfed with that on social media. So it's like, I need a smaller nose. I need to be skinnier. I need a better car. You know, so it went from like once a month to like, and I only hate my body when I compare it to somebody else's. If I don't see something, somebody else has something I want, I'm fine. I'm okay. But then like, I'm like, oh, like I'll look in the mirror in the morning, like, ooh, I look good. Then I like see someone post like a 6-pack. I'm like, oh no, I don't, you know? And so it's just so messed up. And I remember being, and we were talking about this last night. I remember being like, I want to say it was in high school, like early high school years, and I found out what a calorie was. And I was so mad because I was like, how did you not tell me this a long time ago? Like, it's like giving me a credit card and not giving me a limit, just telling me to spend. And I don't know what I'm spending on, but of course, at the end of the day, I'm in debt. Like, no shit. I remember I used to eat a bag of hot Cheetos and a soda every day at lunch. Jeez. And that's like, what, 1,400 calories? That alone right there was enough to get me through the day. And then, of course, now I'm eating regular. So I'm gaining a pound a week. Like, how the hell are you not supposed to when you have no concept of what it costs? Like, so I was really annoyed about that. But then that kind of messed me up because I was like, well, if I burn 2,000 calories and I eat 1,000, then I have to lose weight, right? So then I went the opposite way where I was running all the time, barely eating because I didn't know the starvation mode. I didn't know any of that. I was just like, oh, these numbers make sense, you know? And so ever since then, I remember in high school, like I just hated my body. I thought it was so fat.
Were you? Yeah, you were. I was just gonna ask you. You were overweight.
Well, not really, because like now I look back, I'm like, you idiot, you were so skinny. What's wrong with you?
Like,
you know? Yeah, and then I played sports my whole life, so that kind of took care of. I mean, I tried being bulimic, that didn't work though, because I played sports. So I realized that throwing up your food and then trying to do volleyball wasn't working, right? So I learned the hard way about diets and losing weight and all that. And but I've been mentally messed up with it since as far back as I can remember. And now I'm just really like, it hurts me so bad because these little girls who are growing up now are just as lost and maybe even more than I ever was, and we're not really providing them the information that they need because they see keto, they see fasting, they see I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna eat less, I'm gonna work out more. So I don't feel like we're making a change in the next generation. We are trying to make a change with the older people, but we're gone, you know? Like that next generation of little girls is the ones that are gonna affect the most. So we need to find a way to hit them and be like, look, like there's a smarter way of doing this. So, and then I played volleyball, and then I played junior college volleyball 2 years, and then I went to play volleyball at a state college, and I didn't really like the program, but I stayed there. And that's when like the issues really started, because I used to have a coach tell me what to do, and it went to now I'm on my own, what to eat, what to do. And so I gained a little bit of weight, and I became a personal trainer at 24 Hour Fitness. So I started losing it there, but the problem still continued: overworking, under eating, following the latest fad.
Life of a trainer,
whatever the hell I could do to look at that image of a trainer in a very unhealthy way. And then I found CrossFit, and then that's when I was like, whoa, I can work out to be strong and not to just look good, and looking good is just a byproduct of being strong. This is amazing, you know? When I stopped obsessing on looking a certain way and just getting stronger, my body started to change. And so that continued. And then of course the more I travel, the more I go like this, but I've never, and I'm so dumb, like in my mind I'm like, oh, I'm gonna get so fat, I haven't worked out in 5 days, I'm in Dubai, and I'm like, I look in the mirror, I'm like, no, you look exactly the same as you did before. Like you just stress out on nothing, you know? It just makes no sense to me. I'm like, what is wrong with you? So it's a constant battle, and I don't have it all figured out. We're just talking about diets. I don't know what the perfect diet is for me. You know why? Because I've been listening to what everybody's telling me the perfect diet is for me without me being like, no, you know, that doesn't work for me. Like 300 grams of carb, my body and I, just carbs are not. If I can go higher fat, lower carb, I feel amazing. But right now, everyone's telling me lower fat, higher carb.
Yeah, that's the trend, I guess.
That is the trend right now.
Reading a lot more, like even Lane's posting a lot more on sugar. And
yeah.
you know, like sugar's fine.
Yeah, and that's the thing. That's kind of where. That's
relative.
Yeah.
And that's the
everyone's
thing.
different.
And everyone's
too, right?
different. Or if someone says artificial sugar's fine, or artificial sweeteners are fine, somebody else says they're cancer, and I'm just like, okay, let me figure out on my own. Like, let me try. Obviously, they're not good, so let me. Even if this person says they're fine, I know better than that. You know, why put this into my body when my body doesn't need it? Yeah. You know, like, so if we could just be smarter and getting in tune with ourselves and finding the diets that work for us, then. But I mean, the stress of like, oh my God, like letting go of everything you've been taught and like rebuilding is scary.
Yeah.
So it's a constant battle. And I'd love to say I have it all together when it comes to body image and diet. And some days are better than others, but a lot of times it's not. But if I'm struggling, if you can imagine everybody else.
Yeah.
There's a voice. There's something to take from that.
Yeah, I think we all know that.
This is. We're gonna make more Shero content on this.
Find what works for you, bottom line.
Yeah.
But trusting yourself is hard. When you don't know yourself, you can't trust yourself.
Yeah.
So it takes more work than just that. It takes more work of like really figuring out who you are and what works for you and listening to your body, which I don't do.
And I think it's also good to add that, you know, just looking great isn't everything. It's about how you're sleeping. It's about how you feel. It's about how sharp you are. It's about,
Yeah, and there's plenty of people that look great that aren't healthy.
and diets do matter in those aspects.
For
too.
sure. And diets, your diet's gonna be different than my diet. I was just listened to a podcast they're talking about like the ancestral diet, and like where I came from isn't where you came from.
Yeah.
And where your parents grew up eating isn't what mine were.
Trust
so
me, I
you're
don't
gonna
wanna be that.
you'll respond different to certain foods than I will. And like
Yeah.
there's something to say for that. We are not all a template. We are not all like eat this much and look like this kind of a thing. And we need to let that go. And we need to let go of that perfect ab image go, because that's not the goal either.
Yeah, and I think
It's
there's
more
that.
about big shoulders.
Yeah.
But there's also that awareness of like that understanding that the stuff that your needs over time will change. Whatever's going on in your life is going to affect like what you need to support your system.
Yeah.
So like the diet that works for you right now, like if
Definitely,
you're
yeah.
like, or back when I was 25, now at 35 is going to be different.
Oh, absolutely.
And then that's going to keep evolving.
Yeah.
So you have to be able to like have like that look inside and say, okay, so like how do I feel today?
Yeah.
What does my body need?
Yeah.
And then,
Yeah, but when you don't know your body and you don't know how to listen to your body, you don't even know what that means,
Yeah.
So that's the hard thing. Most of us are living this very disconnected life of our brains from our bodies, where we're just doing what we're told without thinking about it.
Yeah,
And then we get to a point where it's not working anymore.
Yeah,
Now what?
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a really great book. Have you heard of Women, Food and God?
No.
So the woman who writes that,
Did we read it the other day?
It's been a number of years since I read it, but she treats women who have eating disorders, so both extremes of over and under eating. And the thing that really struck me, that stood out when I read it, and like I said, it was a long time ago, she would get them on retreat, and they would have a buffet, and she'd get them. So it wasn't at all controlled, and you had to go to the buffet and take your food, but then she'd get them to sit and look at the food, and they weren't allowed to eat for 5 minutes. They had to contemplate why they made the choices. And I thought that was such a powerful thing.
Yeah.
To go like, oh, am I making this decision because of an emotional choice? Am I just feeling shit and I'm trying to punish myself, or I'm trying to forget something?
Yeah.
Or am I making this choice because it's fueling myself and I deserve to have healthy food?
Now we're all impulsive.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
like,
especially at that buffet.
Especially food, you're just like a dog. I can eat.
yeah, that's really powerful.
Yeah.
All you can eat, all that sugar. Let's dive, if we can dive more into like the CrossFit aspect of your life, where there's a lot of people following a lot of the top dogs, and they're doing 3-4 workouts a day.
Yeah.
And like, what's Rich doing? Or it's like the whole aspect of, oh yeah, he's eating. Like, I've come across a lot of kids over here who are in CrossFit, and they're like, oh yeah, because Rich is eating McDonald's. We want to have McDonald's.
They drink a gallon of milk because Rich drinks a gallon of milk.
Yeah, and I'm like, well, that's not exactly how it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
And I'm sure it's not how he does it.
Yeah.
Could you shed some light on that part of when you were training as hard and when you were in the element? Like, what was your training like, and what were the lessons or the positives you took from there?
Man, that consumed me for years. It was everything. But I had a good balance, I think, and that's why when I went on the Barbell Shrug podcast, I think the biggest thing that I said was like, it's okay to enjoy your life and do CrossFit. It's okay to drink every now and then, enjoy CrossFit. It's okay to eat a donut. And everyone was like, what? I can't believe she said that, and then everyone's like, oh my goodness, it is okay. And I'm like, yeah, because you're not that games athlete. So if you sacrifice your life to try to get something someone else has, you're going to look back and you just lost 6 years of your life living it the way that you thought you were supposed to for this sport that you thought you're going to one day make it. So I had a good balance, and that's why I never looked like those super top shredded blah blah buff at the games athletes, because I wasn't willing to sacrifice what I had to for that. That was never my goal. My goal was never to win the games. I loved CrossFit. I loved the community. I loved suffering with people, and I was decent at it, so I kept competing. I hated competing against
Did you ever read, sorry, just because you were talking about, did you ever read the article which called you like the second hottest body?
Yeah,
in 2014?
Yeah, I did see that.
So I came across that, I'm like, that's...
Yeah, and then, oh man, there's some really, there was one that was like 15 athletes hotter than Jackie Perez. I'm like, leave me alone! Like, why are you even doing this to me? But there's like, it's such clickbait. Ooh, I want to see. I'm like, why am I even on these? Yeah, that was super frustrating.
What did I do?
Yeah.
Work out in the morning. I'm like, what?
But then I became that body, like, oh look, she's not all shredded and manly looking, and you could do CrossFit. Like, so then I became more of like a look at, for regular people at the gym, they'd be like, oh, I want to look like this one, not that one, not understanding like what this one did to get here and what I did to get here. Yeah, I'm a little softer because I do things that I really enjoy. You know, I don't sacrifice everything.
Yeah.
I enjoy life. I found a good balance of working out really hard, eating what I'm supposed to eat. But if my friend says that you want to go for dinner Friday night, like, yeah, I'm gonna go. Where I know a lot of people who are scared to put themselves in social situations because they know what they're gonna do. I'm like, fucking do it. I'm like, at the end of the day, when you look back at your life, you're not gonna remember how good your body looked and how much you trained. You're gonna remember like the laughs you had with this person, the memories you made at this bar with this person. You're not gonna remember that. But when you're so stuck in the game and you're in the snow globe and that's all you see until you can leave it and look down and say, holy shit, what have I been doing in my life? Like, I'm such an idiot.
Yeah.
But it takes that for you to really realize. And the best thing CrossFit ever did was to cut the dream of going to region, no region, the dream of going to the games. The .000,
Yeah.
it's gone. Like, it's not gonna happen. I did a podcast with Matt Vincent recently talking about that, and someone just messaged me and she's like, I was that person doing 3 hours a day. She's like, and now I'm not. She goes, and I have time with my kids, and I do all this other stuff, and I'm excited to start traveling, and I'm excited to do this. So I think what it did is it made people take a step back and look at, like, why am I doing this? And a lot of people at the gym, honestly, are lost. Like, well, what do I do now for 3 hours? I'm like, you go hang out with your fucking kid. You know, like, you hang out with your husband. Like, you cook your dinner. Like, you do all these things that you should have been doing, but you were lost in this dream. Yeah, there is a life beyond the gym, but when you're so trapped in it, and when you're so trapped in that, the best thing about the gym is a community, the worst thing about the gym is a community, because sometimes you're looking at what she's doing, how much she's lifting, and I'm not as good because I'm not lifting as much as her, you know, so you get consumed by what everybody else is doing, because you are in a group setting, so it can kind of go against you sometimes if you're constantly focused on how much you're not lifting.
A lot of peer pressure.
There's a shit ton of peer pressure.
A lot of peer
There
pressure.
is a shit ton of peer pressure. Yeah. and it can be fun, you know, and it can be fun and it can be awesome and you can joke about it, but there's some people who really just like are consumed by that, you know, like they have to be stronger in what they're sacrificing. Like the thing, like I know a girl with the was it labral tear in her hip. And I'm like, you're early 30s. This is like an older person injury. Like what? Oh no, but and this everybody gets hurt in CrossFit or like it's like a neck surgery. Oh no, it was messed up before CrossFit. And I'm just like, or we could think about what we haven't been doing right in there, and let's at least be honest about it. We're doing a lot of things that we should not be doing because we don't have the base to support those kind of movements. That's an honest conversation to have. I've messed myself up because my back's constantly blowing out. Why? I've got no obliques. I barely know how to hinge. Well, no wonder every time I go to pick something heavy up. But I was like, no, I'm fine. I move fine. And then like StrongFit kind of like, no, you don't move fine. You don't. And I'm like, shit, you're right. And that kind of made me take a step back. And now it hurts me that my deadlift's like 225 and someone that just walked into the gym could do 300. A mom of like 3 kids and just pulls 3. My ego is bruised, but I'm not her. She's not me. And I put my body through things that she hasn't. So I'm just like, let it go. Let it go, you know. So, but it's hard because when you're in that environment, it's hard. Like I'm gonna go on this bar with all the new people while everybody else goes over there, you know. But it's an ego check thing, and in the gym you have to check your ego, or something's gonna go wrong.
Something's gonna go wrong.
I mean, yeah, and I think that's something with the like hindsight. I know I can like speak for the same. Like what I put myself through when I was competing in CrossFit, and now I'm like, fuck, I killed myself, and like I'm just as fit now as I was then, and I'm like doing a quarter of the amount of training. Yeah. I'm stronger than I was, and I actually have time to enjoy my life. Yeah.
like whoa, you can have it all.
Not constantly sore.
Yeah.
Like hurting all the time is not normal.
Yeah. So I feel like the CrossFit, I feel like it's going to change a little bit. I feel like it's going to get better. It'll get better and not
it's
worse.
It's getting better, I feel.
Because it was just
at
getting
point,
bad. Everybody wanted to compete. Everybody wanted to go to games. Everybody was killing themselves in there. And then they go out and they're like, usually someone has a bad thing to say about CrossFit is like, well, my friend Sally hurt her shoulder doing it, you know, and it's like, well, my friend Boaz hurt. I'm like, but you're not them, and you're not going to make the same mistakes they are. Like most of us, like any room that I go to where we do like fitness stuff, we all started here because of CrossFit, and I owe them everything for that. Yeah, we don't have to agree with everything that they're doing. You shouldn't agree with. You should question things. You should be
Every
like,
sport has its.
how can we make it better? Yeah,
Yeah.
but and that's fine. I'm not bad mouthing CrossFit because I'm the biggest CrossFit Kool-Aid drinker. But I wasn't liking what I was seeing in the gym.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with saying that. It's not perfect. People do get hurt because people do stupid things that they shouldn't be doing. So CrossFit doesn't hurt people. People hurt people.
The maximum number of injuries come in powerlifting.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, and then if we want to talk about that, we talk about the adrenal fatigue that most
Yeah.
fitness girls get.
Yeah.
You know how many girls I know
Yeah,
that have completely
bodybuilding,
fucked up their bodies doing like super low fat diets and trying to look a certain way on stage for one day and then never looking like
Even
that
wearing
again.
those waist thinners.
And then
that, like, squeeze your organs.
Oh my
and just
goodness, yeah.
Squeeze the life
Yeah.
out of them, and your freaking
And
liver
speak
goes up to your
to
neck.
the, like how it fucks up so many of those mentally, like literally have no capacity to like you've talked about your struggle, but it's like they're like, I'm never gonna look as good as I did on that moment on the stage, and it's like self-hate and all of those
Oh
things.
man,
It's
yeah. The depressed cycle of eating was my favorite before. Like you eat because you're depressed because you eat. You just like get stuck in this trap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that is something that like I've seen as such a positive from CrossFit is because women especially start training and they're like, oh shit, I can be strong.
Yeah.
I can do the same things the guys are doing.
And you can eat.
I can
Yeah.
eat. I'm supposed to eat. I need to
That's
eat.
what I love about CrossFit.
I'm allowed to have
Yeah.
donuts.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
But that also made us like we've all kind of branched off and done our own thing with it. We also like I always call it like it's a funnel of like exercising. It teaches you how to work out and then you decide what you're gonna do with it. And most of us move on to something different, but we always keep that was always the base that got us started. There's nothing else that's gonna get you in a place with like-minded. Look at all these companies that have started because of CrossFit. All these people doing like it gave them the opportunity to do whatever the hell they wanted, and that's the best thing about it.
I still believe that there's no better general program for your average person who just wants to be fit and healthy.
Yeah.
And if it's done in a safe way and you've got a coach that will make sure that you're doing movement well, but there's no better way.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think any other.
This one's like, oh.
I think it could have changed when I did like CrossFit level 1. It was like I've never done CrossFit in my life. This is like way back, like way back. And we had to do Fran in the first workout. I'm like, I've never freaking done a squat thruster in my life.
Yeah.
Like my wrists are hurting, and it's come a long way.
Yeah.
Like, things
And the thing
things
is,
have changed.
when that's the thing is like the
Everything
whole point of
evolves.
CrossFit is that it's scalable. So if Fran's in the workout and someone's come in who's never done a thruster before
No, I don't think so.
or a pull-up, then like I have, you met Tima at the summit.
Yeah.
You know, Tima came in and like couldn't sit to a chair. But so we got a high box, and if Fran came up, she's like holding a very light medicine ball, and she sits her butt to a high box and she presses it. And then she's got a really high pair of rings, and she does ring rows.
Yeah.
So she can still
Be a
part of a community. She can still get a good workout, but within a safe way.
Yeah.
And if most like if you put them in a boot camp class, they're not going to have that safety.
No, yeah.
I think men need that too. In this
100%.
day and age. It's not just a Shero summit. I think we need a Hero summit.
Yeah.
A lot of men need this too.
A few
You know
people
what I'm saying?
have told me that already.
Yeah, a lot of men need this too,
Yeah.
no matter what way we look
The
at it.
guys are upset that they're not being empowered.
Well, we were kicked out at like 8 a.m. Remember?
No, I had to drag you out at 9.
No, that was day one. That was day one. Day 2, I got kicked out at like 8:15. I was like,
That's hilarious. No words allowed.
no, and I'm a control freak to a certain degree, and I'm like, is that an order? Is this an order? Is that Jesse? You okay? Like, and he's like, just get out of here.
Just go.
It's fine.
Yeah, so I love CrossFit. I owe everything to CrossFit. When someone messages me from the other side of the world, they're like, how do I get fit? I'm like, find a CrossFit gym. They will start you off at least. I trust them more than I trust you to get a 24-hour membership and walk in and not know what to do and waste your money. So at least you're going to get some attention. And then after 6 months, you don't need the gym. You don't need the CrossFit gym anymore, but you stay for the community. You learn enough about movement in 6 months.
I think that's the thing. It's like, if you want to be in CrossFit, you better know your mobility drills.
Yeah.
You better know how to recover. You better know how to do the Olympic lifting movements. You better know how to do like all the endurance movements, all the strength movements. You better know how to do everything correctly. And if you don't, there's many people around you.
Yeah.
As a trainer at like a corporate gym, let's call it, like there's no real pressure. on like
No.
learning. There's no
Yeah,
real
no.
pressure on
No.
like, you know, hey, you need to
No.
how recovery affects you.
Yeah.
You need to know how to do these mobility drills. No,
Yeah.
it's if you look great, you might be a trainer. You might
Yeah.
be a really great
Yeah.
trainer. And no matter how many drugs you take,
Yeah.
you might just be a really good
Yeah.
trainer because you look amazing.
Yeah.
Or some girls were just born with it
Mhm.
and just like, you know, strut their stuff.
Yeah.
And I think that's where CrossFit really changed the game.
Yeah, and I know a lot of people complain, well, you get one cert and then you're allowed to coach. I'm like, nobody started off as an amazing coach. Say whatever the fuck
Yeah.
you want. We were all beginners and we all sucked. I remember when I didn't know much about training, but I wanted to learn, you know, like there's only one way to learn is by training people and learning.
Yeah.
Like no one's gonna start, so yeah, this person just got their level 1. Guess what? In 6 months, they're gonna be a good coach if they're passionate enough about it.
Yeah.
Give them that chance.
I know people with sports science degrees who are shit coaches.
Yeah, yeah.
So like,
I've hired and fired so many of them.
Yeah.
They come in, they walk in with their like physio degrees and their doctor degrees,
Yeah.
and I was like,
yeah.
doesn't make any
Yeah.
difference to me. You
so
can't
you're
coach
good
a
at
basic squat.
studying.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're good at passing
you look
an
like shit.
exam. Yeah.
But as a trainer, if you have passion, you have nothing. You can have all the education in the world, you can have everything, but if you're not passionate about helping people move better, you're not gonna last very long.
So, in your opinion, what are the things that make a good coach? And how do you, if you want to be a coach, what are the best ways to develop yourself?
Oh man, you you have to do it, right? You have to get out there and sometimes you will teach something the wrong way and that's okay and you're gonna learn from it and you're gonna be better. That's fine. Continuing your education on your own, like being curious about movement, like looking what other people are doing. Like I'm obsessed with podcasts right now because I learned so much YouTube videos. I learned so much from people who really know what the hell they're talking about. So if you're curious and you're learning and you're trying things with your client and you're doing it on yourself, like you're going to grow to be a very good trainer. So you just have to, the curiosity, I burned myself out training. I was going all day with clients. I barely had time to eat and work out. I overdid it. I got to a point that, and you'll go into a CrossFit gym and you could see the burnt out CrossFit trainer, right? They've got zero patience to teach you anything. They will not stay after because they just want to get out of there. Like you could see when their patience is run low because they've overdone the training. If you don't keep a good balance of like coaching your clients and taking care of yourself, you end up being that burned out client. So being conscious of that, yeah, it's good money coming in. I'm working 8 hours, I have all these clients, they're re-signing, and then you have this money, but you hate your body because you lost it trying to get them theirs, and you're so burned out you don't have patience.
Yeah.
So acknowledging that you have to keep a good balance, continuing your education, and just getting out there and coaching, teaching.
So, you've been posting recently about learning to shoot.
Yeah. So that is
That's on a whole different note.
It's so weird. That's like a new little passion of mine that I didn't know that I would enjoy so much. And it started because a few years ago, a company called A Gun Company, kind of in my town or close to me, were like, hey, like, because they wanted to promote gun safety, but not the whole gun bunny thing, right? Because right now it's sexy on Instagram, half naked girls with guns, right? Like, the guns are serious, right? It could be a weapon, it could be for protection, and so like they just kind of got me interested in it, and I was like, yeah, I'll come out. They're like, come out to the range, check it out. And I went there, and like I realized like if there was a gun there, like a little bit of anxiety, like a little bit of fear, and it was more because I knew nothing about it, right? And like it kind of scared me, and I was like, why do I have this like weird anxiety towards this thing? I'm not even close to it, but I just knowing the power of it and having fear towards it made me want to get to know it, because I was like, that is not okay. Like, let's say something ever happens and I need to use this. I would be like, I don't know what to do. And I didn't like the power that it had over me. And I knew on social media, like people always have their opinions, right? How dare you promote guns, blah, blah. So at first I didn't want to post about it, right? I was like, I want to go to the range, I want to shoot, but I don't want to start like controversy. And I posted something about it and I saw people just going at it like, how dare you, blah, blah. And I'm like, I'm just here to promote how to use this thing. I feel like it's very powerful to take the power away from that thing. Now I have the power. I could be standing next to a gun. I know exactly what to do. I know exactly how to use it. I know the safety. And so I just didn't like that like disconnect. And so I was like, oh, I want to do it again. And then I went again and I got a little more comfortable. So the second time I was like less nervous, because anytime it's in my hand, I'm kind of nervous. Like this thing can like kill somebody. Like this is like a big deal. And then I did it again. And then like the last time I went, like I realized I had this confidence and like this, just a little bit of power in me knowing that I knew exactly what to do with it. Like this thing is here. And I liked I like that. I was like this, and then like you hit the target, and it's like the first time I did CrossFit, where like you know, like you can RX something, and that excitement, you know, and I want to do it again. So it just like sparked interest in me because it was like something new to learn, and it was something that scared me at first, and it empowered me just a little bit to even know what I was doing with it.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I'm itching to go ahead. Now I'm going down these like YouTube videos of like gun safety and watching.
You're on handguns right now, or you've also shot like some?
I shot some big ones too. Yeah.
Big ones too.
Yeah, both.
What's your favorite so far?
I like the pistol.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just like the big ones are a little more intimidating, but I do like the red light because it's gonna hit when you point it at. These you kind of have to like find it. So yeah, I was a little, and then like I kept posting about it because I was like, no. I think females should learn how to handle a gun. I think that guns aren't going to go away, right? We could fight them all we want, and we can like be like, no, I'm not going to learn how to use that because it's bad. Or we could say, no, I'm going to learn how to use that in case I ever need it, but that can kill somebody. So I'm not promoting weapons. I'm promoting gun safety. I'm promoting that everybody should know what the hell to do with something that's scary.
Yeah.
So that, and I got a lot of backlash over it, and a lot of people were like, oh, unfollow. I'm like, bye. Like, I don't need you here, you know? Yeah, and then that's the thing. Once you start really standing up for what you believe in and putting it out there, you will start trimming the fat. If you unfollow me because it's something I'm passionate about, you were never here for the right reasons. So bye, you know? Like, I don't need you, you know? So it's funny. People be like, oh, man, I follow you. Like that, like they have power over you. It's like,
Does that affect you sometimes?
you know, it's funny. Like now, no. Like like I've evolved with social media, whereas before, like, I would post these pictures because I was young and we all want to be validated and we all want to be liked and we all want to be commented like, hey, you look so good. And then the older I got, the more I realized I don't need your validation, you know, like what I was searching for, I got stuck in that like drug of social media. It feels good. You get a hit. It's like, it's awesome. And then the older I got, the more I look back, the more I'm like, that was just me seeking validation. I don't need that anymore. Like I know who I am in the sense that I don't need you to validate me for that reason anymore. So that's kind of, now I can really promote what I want to promote because that power of promoting what's popular is gone. And I'm always like, bye. And I'm always like, I encourage you to unfollow me. Like, please unfollow. If you're not here for the right reasons, please unfollow me. Like, I don't want to be talking to people who don't want to be here. Like, you're coming on my page. Don't forget that. Mm-hmm. I'm not coming on yours. So that's kind of like, and so that's where the whole gun thing kind of started. And then last time I went, I was just like, and it's funny because usually something like that would give me like anxiety, like I'm a slow learner. And I felt very in the flow with this thing. And like they would like call a command where you have to like step, point, shoot. And like usually like my mind's like, oh no, was it 1, 2, 3, what was it? And then this time my body just did it. And like, and I was just like, wow, this is amazing. Like I actually really enjoy this.
Yeah.
So we'll see where I take that one. I want like assassin skills.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so cool.
Yeah, so it's a little bit of empowerment and also taking that fear away. And I think a lot of women should someday get out to a range and learn how to properly use it, because God forbid you ever need to use it. But you should, it's like the fire extinguisher. Hopefully you never ever need to use it, but you're glad it's there just in case something happens.
You want to know how to use
and you
that
want to
too.
know how to use that. That would be good.
That's true.
No, but that's kind of where I stand, where I will stand up for that. I will stand up and say, like, yeah, you know, guns can be bad in the wrong hands, but it's all about education. You know, like you can't just say this is bad, take it away. Fast food is bad, take it away. This is bad, take it away.
Yeah.
We can't live a life like that. You've got to educate people, and then hopefully there's somebody in the building with a gun. I hope to God that somebody else in the building has a gun and knows how to use it to save people. You know, like, so if we only let bad people have power with guns, we just made the situation even worse, because now we can't do anything about it because this fear was put in us with it.
I think also what resonated with me is like when you were telling that story is I remember going the first time I went to a shooting range and being like,
yeah,
you love it?
So you gonna trust me with that?
I remember the first time I saw a gun, because like in Australia we don't, like very few people have guns.
Yeah.
So it wasn't until I was living here, and again, this isn't a place where lots of people have guns, but I was working in a place where we had VIPs and security with guns, and I remember seeing them take out the guns, and I was like, oh my God, there are guns around them, like completely freaking out.
Yeah.
And that was something to me when I went to a shooting range the first time, and a few times subsequently, is like being able to like, that I could control my fear and to be in control of the situation. And I think that that's a very important thing to be like, go, okay, so why am I afraid of this? And rather than running away from it, is it something that I can take ownership of?
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that you have to own a gun. It doesn't mean that you have to.
Yeah.
But like if your instant reaction when you see something, it doesn't have to be a weapon. It could be anything. Is fear. Like what's causing that fear?
Yeah.
And
Guns are cool too.
They're cool.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, because they have this power. They're cool.
Yeah.
Like it's. I mean, I think guns are cool, and then I have to be very careful how to promote it because I don't want to promote it as in guns are sexy,
Yeah.
right? Because they're not. Like it's not about
Yeah.
that. It's not like, hey, I'm holding a gun. It's like, no, this could be very dangerous, but
In the
you know
wrong
what's
hands,
sexy is having the power to hold it and be confident in your
Yeah.
ability to use it.
Yeah.
That's fucking sexy,
Yeah.
but not just I'm half naked,
Yeah,
my
no.
tits are out, and I have a gun. Like that's not.
No.
I don't want to portray that.
Definitely don't.
But I don't want to portray that because that's what people do, you know. And then it's like it's not. That's not. It's just like.
Well, I do. With
Well, I
half
mean,
naked with
your
my
tits out with the gun,
and
yeah. But it's because that's everything on social media right now, you know? Everything you see about guns, it's just some gun babe holding a gun. I'm like, let's not focus on that. Let's focus on safety and know what you're doing with it.
Yeah.
The mom should know how to use a gun. Like, everybody should know. So, it's
Since we we touched upon the influencer aspect of things.
Yeah.
In a very short, maybe like 1 or 2 minutes. I mean, you've been in the game for a while now.
yeah,
And you've learned your lessons.
yeah,
And you've done some good things, some things that you probably regret.
yeah.
What would be the quickest tip? I mean, Dubai, as a UAE,
Yeah.
the Middle East, is a very big influencer market, and it's growing
Yeah.
as we speak. What would be, if in like maybe a minute, what would be your advice to the influencer, the younger influencer crowd
Yeah.
that's growing and just getting into this?
Tough, man. It's just such a weird business, but authenticity over everything. Only promote things that you truly believe in. And then just network, be good to people, and then be who you are behind the scenes as you are on there. You could do both. You could be popular with both. That's totally fine, but we just don't get stuck in the game. That's it. Yeah.
Well said. Awesome. So before we wrap up, is there anything else you would like to speak about?
No, I'm just, as much as I hate doing these things, I do like having a voice to voice my opinion, where on social media you can't as much as a podcast. So that's really cool. So yeah, thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming.
Yeah.
It meant a lot that you were able to be here to do this, but also like having you at Summit was really
Yeah.
special.
Oh, and at the end, I wanted to say this at the summit, and I didn't think about it till the end. You know, they asked me like, what's your goal in 5 years, and I had none. I was just like, I bring no value, I don't know what to do with my life, I got no goals, and then I left there and I was like, my goal is to be on that stage in 5 years and have something of value to say.
You'll be
Like,
on there before.
and then, but that's my goal. You know, that I don't just want to be some, oh, you have 270,000 followers. I have nothing to say for that. That doesn't define me, you know, but I want to truly do something that I earn a spot on that stage to inspire women to say something that'll help them.
Like, can we do
Don't do it! Don't do it!
Where can people find you?
On Instagram.
I'm not
Jackie,
sure.
Jackie585 or JackiePerez.com.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Sweet.
Jackie, thank you for being on the show.
Thanks for having me.
Our pleasure. The pleasure is ours. Whatever way you want to. You're leaving tomorrow to
Monday.
Monday.
Yeah,
Monday.
Tuesday.
Tuesday. And where are you heading off to?
Home and then Playa del Carmen in like 3-4 days. And then back to Kuwait and Abu Dhabi.
Envy, travel envy.
Yeah.
Oh, what are you doing in Kuwait?
We have another military tour.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah. So I'm back.
Okay, awesome. So thank you once again, and thanks to Jesse for being Jaybird. And,
I hope that doesn't stick.
we'll find a new one next time. Thanks guys, stay strong and stay hungry.
Bye.